Welcome back, folks. Today we talk about a tale of adventure, drama, action, and intrigue. Of betrayals, of friendships, and of misery. A tale of comedy. Of mostly comedy, and very little of the other things that I mentioned. Welcome to the Loreax ARG.
Welcome to the 8 Days of October. Just go with it.
Our story begins a long time ago, in the ancient time of January 2020, with the creation of a theater Discord server meant to assist with production of a performance of the play Julius Caesar. However, over the course of its history, it will become so much more. It is time to talk about the Lorax. Over the first few days of the We Hate Caesar Club Discord server, the plot was thin. There was a bit of a side plot about one of the characters having their Discord name be Bird Jesus. But apart from that, it was mostly just a regular Discord server. And the beginning of the Loreax ARG, the beginning of what the Caesar Club server would eventually become, and the beginning of so many other things along the course of its history, began on February 1st, 2020, with one simple message.
OMG, it's the Lorax. Do you speak for the trees? The trees prefer to represent themselves. Ah, I am the Lorax. I'm aware of the trees. There are 10 members of this cast. There are 12 people in this chat. One of them is Ben, but now I'm just confused and a little frightened. Same, honestly. My guess is that it's Spencer again, because if Bird Jesus is Quinn, he hasn't talked yet, and I don't think he would pass on talking as Bird Jesus if he had the chance. He wouldn't create another account, but maybe he would. I am the Lorax. I have a disease. I love this Discord server. Dear Lord, the plot thickens. You are the Lorax. You've broken my knees. I am not responsible for any of my actions. Speak to my lawyer. I am indeed Quinn, and this is my only account. Aha! So who is the Lorax?
Everyone in the server had one thing, and one thing only, on their mind. Figure out the identity of this masked fiend parading himself around as the Lorax. But one person in the server had a very different thing on their mind. Make more Discord accounts.
What is going on? Oh no. I am the Lorax's lawyer. I speak for the Lorax. I'm here to handle the claim that the Lorax broke McCoyle's knees. It's not me. I have a feeling all Lorax-related accounts are Spencer. It's not me. Then who is it? McCool? I am losing my mind over this. I'm betting my money on Spencer. It's really not me. I'm very confused. Let's be honest here. About 10% of the things over the lifetime of this server will be about Julius Caesar. Maybe even less. I'm predicting more shenanigans will happen. As I see you are aware, you have the right to remain silent. Riddle me this, Lorax's lawyer. How can any individual have no responsibility for any of their actions? The Lorax is a fictional character. As such, any actions of the Lorax are likely non-existent or at least over-exaggerated. So there! I like how it took a full 4 hours for that addendum.
And then Ulysses S. Grant joined.
I am Ulysses S. Grant. I speak for America. I am here to oversee the upcoming court case against the Lorax. I will act as judge and executioner. The jury bit will be up to the people. Secondly, I hereby decree that all further court proceedings will be held in the miscellaneous section of the server. Thirdly, I eat lemon-flavored rice pudding. Tasty good! This is the weirdest server I have ever been in. I have a total of 0 idea what is happening anymore. Hello, weppers. I have recently reviewed the case of the Lorax and his lawyer, but I am unaware of Mincoil's preferred choice of representation. At Mincoil, will you be representing yourself, or do you have a lawyer? I don't know. Does anyone want to be my lawyer? I am staying very firmly out of this. You can just pull a Lorax and make a new account to be your lawyer. Immediately after sending that message, I regretted making the suggestion. No one can simply stay out of this. Okay, there was a point where Mincoil and Ulysses were typing at the same time, so it might not be Spencer. That's true. Well, now there are 2 trials. The trial of the Lorax and the trial to figure out who the Lorax is. I'm just curious how the trial will go if it's the same person on all 3 accounts. That's a lot of switching between things. It's just one person ganging up on Spencer. Unless the 3 accounts aren't run by the same person and we're being duped by multiple people. That'd be pretty good. Expectation, discussion of the play, reality, trying to solve a mystery wherein someone is pretending to be the Lorax. The only people I've eliminated are Spencer and myself, although I don't think there's any way I'll be able to effectively convince you that I am not the Lorax, so for now I'll just say Spencer until we get more conclusive evidence to exonerate me.
And so, we had our first innocent person. Me. But that still left everyone else in the server, which meant that the case was far from cracked.
Is it possible to see who invites them into the server? No, but that gave me an idea. Yes? Wait a second, my invite says it only has 6 uses. I don't think so. The mystery would all probably be over by now if that was the case. And Quinn made one that had 0. Oh? So what in the world is going on here? Yara, what is your profile pic? I was about to ask the same thing. Is that Ricky Gervais's face? It's Batman, clearly. God damn it. Wait, why did the Lorax react with that flag? What the duck? What even is that flag? Well, now everyone is reacting with that flag. Flag. Let me reverse emoji search it. Me, crying, whose flag? Who is he? Vanuatu is the name of the country. Is that a clue? What could that possibly hint at? I was gonna ask the same thing. We have to get some decoders on this ASAP. I'm in the Wikipedia page. Same. Did anyone else notice that Ben and the Lorax talked to each other, but the green lights showed they weren't online at the same time? Here, I'll go online. Ah, there goes that theory. Okay, I'm gonna give people roles real quick, actually. What does that mean? It means I'm labeling who is and isn't the Lorax. Have we firmly established anyone else is not the Lorax? Interesting you'd label yourself. I debated not doing that, but yeah, you can believe me or not. I'm not the Lorax. I'm also not the Lorax, but you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. I'm inclined to believe everyone who has spoken thus far. Maybe I should have a different role. Probably not the Lorax. I, too, am not the Lorax. I'm not the Lorax, as evidenced by my complete inability to lie. I hereby and heretofore swear on the memory of Richard Nixon that I am not the Lorax. See, I'm very inclined to believe you, but you're also still the most likely suspect. I like how you swore on the memory of a U.S. president who resigned due to being dishonest.
It had been nearly a week, and it seemed as though we were barely any closer than when we started. Sure, it was fairly clear that I was innocent, but apart from that, there was barely any clues. The Vanuatuan flag had led to nothing so far. But maybe there was one thing that could solve this once and for all.
I am the Lorax. I'm bringing my geese. Thank you for your contribution, Lorax. Ah! Honk. I'm gonna lose it. That is so perfect. It's exactly what the inside of my brain has looked like for the past 24 hours. Don't worry, that's not my brother. He's taking a shower right now. How many geese does the Lorax have? Too many. Honk. Sorry for late. Wow, there's a goose named after you. What the hell is going on here? Why does the Lorax have 2 geese? Honk. What the hell is going on here? Oh no. Okay, this is getting a little scary. Honk. Oh no. You're off a few zeros there, Lorax's goose. I gotta hand it to the William Goose. You're my favorite. I'm gonna talk to him. Honk. Hello, Goose. Can you give us any clues as to who you are? Honk. Follow the yellow brick road. Honk. Thank you. It's either Ben or Yarrow. What? Why me? Yellow is the color of the Lorax, so if we follow the yellow names on either side are Yarrow and Ben, then it must be Yarrow? Unless that's what the Lorax says when he leaves. William! Oh no. Honk. Oh no. Whoa, guys, both geese are online. Both on phones. William Goose is taller than Shoes. As it should be. Honk. Shut up. Honk. The pictures are deceiving. Honk. No, they aren't. I honestly don't know what to say. Me neither. It's astonishing. I also didn't get anywhere with Vanuatu. The furthest I got was the languages spoken there. French is one of them. I know Macola's taking French, but I really don't think it's her. I also don't think that's a strong enough clue. I think the yellow brick road is more promising. I suspect the Vanuatu flag wasn't actually a hint. The yellow brick road is certainly promising. I'm suspecting that some of the things we have taken as hints, we have taken like high school English teachers, grasping at the flimsiest of threads and calling them themes. Yeah, you're probably right. I think the flag was a red herring. It might be a wild goose chase, so to speak. But the yellow brick road could just as easily be bait as well. Wild goose bait, one might even say. I want to solve this mystery, but somehow I think it can never be solved. I believe everyone when they say they're innocent. I don't suppose there's a way to see how many invites his account has made. I think William tried that and came up blank. Guys, wait, I have something. Oh?
After all this, after everything I've showed you so far, I know what you must be thinking. So, who was it? Who was the Lorax?
The invite I made still has 6 uses. Yarrow made one that has 0 uses. Spencer made 3, 1 with 0, 2 with 1. Oh! The other invites have expired by this point, so what does this tell us? I need to go to bed, but I'm staying up just a bit longer because the suspense here is killing me. It was me. I can't believe how quickly you all wrote me off. Wait, what? That's it? Aha! A confession! I never believed you were innocent. In my heart, I always suspected. The yellow brick road meant nothing. I knew it! Ah! I can't believe we solved the great Lorax mystery 2020. I don't know what to do with myself after this. Wait, so are all the accounts you, Spencer? All the accounts were me. Dang. Impressive. How did you type at the same time as yourself? Were you running multiple devices at the same time? Did you enlist Max? I actually did enlist Max to type a message to the chat while we were at improv, but he forgot. I gotta say, naming the goose after me was a genius play. If it weren't for the server invite thing, you would have had us in the dark for a very long time. Absolutely. You managed to turn us all against one another while getting us to think you were innocent. You are a mastermind. I hope people do more things, though the whose account is this thing is kind of tired out from myself and Bird Jesus. Yeah, I don't know what other mysteries people could pull, though. I guess it has to be whose account is this plus whatever extra thing to make it interesting. You guys will have to get creative. Like, secret codes and stuff. Can we please get someone to make puzzles for us to solve? I will spend my whole day doing that. Never mind, please don't. I will never look at the Lorax the same way ever again. I was the Lorax. You caught me. Aw, jeez. By the way, Ulysses S. Grant isn't even the 19th president. Oh, damn, you're right. I just looked it up. He's the 18th.
And with that, it seemed to be over. I mean, there wasn't much more point in continuing. The mystery had been solved and I had been caught. The story of the Lorax seemed to be done with. And apart from a small cameo by Marvin K. Mooney in the next upcoming days, I had intended to end it there. Until another member of the Caesar Club server, Bird Jesus, did something at one of the rehearsals. He pretended to be a character, an evil pencil salesman by the name of Pen Zeel. And thus, the next fake account joined the server. And you might be thinking, how does this continue the story of the Lorax? I mean, we know who this account is run by, and there isn't really much need for speculation. But Bird Jesus was not yet done. Chaos. The Lego Jedi begin warring with each other and all others who stand in their way. Perhaps just enough chaos for someone to slip through unnoticed. This is the story of 100% Bill Paxton.
What is happening? Aces. As it currently stands, the fictional people outnumber the real people. Aces. I don't even understand that reference. Aces. I had to Google who Bill Paxton was. I solemnly swear on the memory of Bill Clinton that it isn't me. Aces. Bill Clinton is alive. Stop swearing on the memory of dishonest presidents, especially ones that are alive. The reason Quinn has not yet responded is he's currently on his way to murder Bill Clinton. Just as the prophecy foretold. So, how about that airline foot? Hey! Foot? Aces! What do you call a cat with no legs? What? A bowling ball! Hey! 100% Bill Paxton is advocating animal abuse. You can't have abuse without you and me. Hey! What does that even mean, 100% Bill Paxton? Abume! I am quaking in fear. We have descended into pure chaos. There is no I in chaos, but what there is KO. I think Bill Paxton is telling me that chaos is just the plural of KO. My name is deceiving. I'm actually only 90% Bill Paxton. Quaking. What's the other 10%? Don't say aces. See ya. Apparently he's 90% Bill Paxton, 10% see ya, and 100% Spencer. 90% Bill Paxton, 10% pure KO. What are the chances he's still here? Is Bill Paxton talking about himself in the third person now? Bill Paxton's most recent message is the most ominous thing I've read. Well, now I'm genuinely scared. I feel like Bill Paxton is actively behind me. I got on because I had an idea for something else that I needed to get out of my head, but I'm glad I did because this is legendary. What do you call a half-eaten goat? Dead. Please stop telling jokes, Bill Paxton. Dinner! What do you call a birthday party? I'm too scared to find out, but I think you're gonna say anyway. I feel like he's gonna say dinner again. Dinner again! Oh. What do you call 3 plates of ranch dressing? Please stop. Dinner? Please, Bill Paxton, I just want to sleep. Bath water? That is, in so many ways, a disappointing bath. What do you call a depressed ladybug? Please don't. What? A loser. That's sad. You know what else is sad? What? A depressed ladybug. What do you call your neighbor's house? Enemy territory? Kindling. Holy shit, Spencer. What do you call a sandwich? Dinner? Lunch. Temporary. That's so ominous. That feels like the text from a meta post. See ya.
Sure, Bill Paxton didn't end up being what I wanted, a second Lorax, but it did create the precedent that fake accounts can be fun to do, even if people know that you are the one doing them. We skip ahead a few weeks, and at this point, a new member of the cast for the production of Julius Caesar had the absolute audacity to ask to be in part of the server. Now, could we have just let them in? Yeah, probably, but instead, we decided to do something else. This didn't work out. It didn't happen, but it did create another precedent that was needed for the Loreax ARG to happen in the future. There are multiple Loraxes. So now we have 2 Loraxes. The Lorax and, of course, the Lorax 2. Now, it could have stopped there, but there was something that happened that made that impossible. The member of the Caesar Club, Captain Kirby, decided to start doing drawings on Instagram. One of which was a interesting drawing of the Lorax that looked kind of similar to a piece of candy corn. And thus, I took it upon myself to make the Lorax 3 Candy Corn Edition.
Oh God. My bones are squished into an abomination. Spencer, must he really use my bad drawing of the Lorax? Isaac, what have you brought to life? I did not intend for this. I was making a silly drawing about Kirby. I didn't mean to create the candy corn Lorax. My skeleton is an abomination of twists and turns. My life is but pain. What cruel overlord would allow me to become a reality? Why? I did it all for a silly Kirby joke, Lorax 3. I never intended to bring you misery.
So, now we have 3 Loraxes. The problem is, of course, clear. We clearly don't have enough Loraxes. There need to be more. So, right now we have the Lorax 2, and the Lorax 3 Candy Corn Edition. What would come next? Obviously, the Lorax 4X.
Uh-oh. Is this Lorax Pro Axe? Oh, for fuck's sake. Axe body spray? Get some. That video made me deeply uncomfortable. You actually watched it? You deserve what you get watching a video sent by the Lorax 4. The Lorax liking Axe still feels wrong, because it shares a name with the thing that cuts down trees. Axe will chop away at your problems. Sniff this, no bad days with our Mandime body spray. Why do we have, like, 7 brand promo accounts in this server? Brand awareness is the most important part of theater. All it costs is your integrity, and you get paid. Axe body spray now comes with extra integrity for those who need it. Sure, maybe you'll alienate your viewer base and become less respected in your field, but you need to be able to afford your lavish lifestyle somehow. The Lorax has to pay for his swimming pools, unless there was another way. Join us at the Loreax Forex. But what about my damn swimming pools? Capitalist scum, you don't need swimming pools to be happy. What do I need, communist Lorax? 1 slice of bread per week. I prefer my pools. But at what cost, Lorax Forex? At what cost? Roughly $140,000 per pool. Wow. Can I buy one? Indeed, and for the added price of $999.99, I'll throw in some Axe body spray. I'm sold. Thank you for your humble presence. My work here is done. Did I just watch the Lorax Forex turn a communist into a capitalist?
So, right now we have a fair base of Lorax characters interacting with each other and doing, like, comedic bits together. But what we don't have quite yet, and what we won't have for a little while, is a story. However, the beginnings of implications of a story come on April 25th, when something happened that would change Caesar Club history forever. The Faceless God joined the server.
I've been leaving on my things, so in the morning when the morning bird sings, there's still dinner on my dinner jacket till the dinner bell rings. Experimental dog, salivating dog, good dog, waiting for the dinner bell to do the bell thing. Dinner bell ring. I've been leaving on my things, so in the morning when the morning bird sings, there's still dinner on my dinner jacket till the dinner bell rings. I don't want a pizza, I don't want a pizza, peanut brittle, I don't want a pear, I don't want a bagel, I don't want a bean, I wouldn't like a bag of beef or a beer, or a cup of cheddar, corn, cake or cream, cauliflower, cause I'm waiting for the dinner bell to do the bell thing. Dinner bell ring. Shoda facet elbow ham, foram namrus namhu am, melo hit index train. Dinner bell lean. I don't know whether I'd rather be having a bottle of vinegar. I don't know whether I'd rather be having an egg. I don't know whether I'd rather be having an order of bacon, or whether I'd rather be having a basket of garlic bread. I don't know whether I'd rather be having some pie or saving my appetite, cause I'm waiting for the dinner bell to do the bell thing. Dinner bell ring. I've been leaving on my things, so in the morning when the morning bird sings, there's still dinner on my dinner jacket till the dinner bell does the bell thing. Dinner bell, do the bell thing. I'm waiting for the dinner bell to do the bell thing. Dinner bell, ding, ding, ding. Waiting for the dinner bell to do the bell thing. Dinner bell, ding, ding, ding. Waiting for the dinner bell to do the bell thing. Dinner bell, ding.
And thus, on May 17th, 2020, the first ARG on the Caesar Club Discord server was over, and its story had been concluded. And now, we've had an ARG on the server, and 5 Loraxes. What happens next? Well, the next character, the next Lorax accomplice to join the server would be one of the most important in its history. An assassin by the name of Veretio.
Judging by the time, you must be another vampire? Vampire? Quite the opposite, actually. I am an assassin, here to exterminate any unwanted accounts. I must disguise myself. Pretend I'm not here. At Ron Veretio, please assassinate the Loreax 3 candy corn Lorax. He makes me uncomfortable and is a reminder of my own failures. Find the dissenters, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Now look at me. I'm covered in wolf blood, dangling just above a pit of flaming tigers. Man, you sure seem to be having a rough go of things, huh, Ron? This just ain't my day. Ron, I have to ask, are you a character played by William Hobbs, or do you just look exactly like him? William Hobbs is my grandson, non-canonically. I see. And with that, I was in. Now they thought I was the grandfather of someone they knew. And that, kids, is how I met your mother. Ron, you appear to have a habit of saying your plans out loud. Ron, you're talking about yourself in the third person? Oh, huh. So this is acclaimed TV show How I Met Your Mother now. I am acclaimed actor Ted Mosby. And just like that, I was in. They thought I was Ted Mosby. The gears in my chest started growling like never before. I was having a heart attack. And that, kids, is how I met your mother. At Ron Veretio, a question. If you are Ted Mosby from acclaimed TV show How I Met Your Mother, but you are also William's grandfather, then given the fact that Ted's children are born in 2015 and 2017, how is it that William exists in 2020 when his parents would be either 5 or 3? And just like that, I was out. They had caught me. I had to disguise myself. Ron, your habit of narrating your own life in the third person doesn't seem to be helping you very much. The Picnic, alternate title, Simply Having a Wonderful Faceless Mime. LMAO, I love it. I now owe Paul McCartney $12,000 in royalties for that joke. Ope, I'm here to collect my money, and then I'll take your car. Why is your status the long-lost Luddington? It appears Mr. McCartney has stolen my face. Your money, your car, your face. You heard it here first, folks. And just like that, he was in. He'd convinced them that he was beloved pop superstar Paul McCartney, and that he'd claimed Isaac's money, car, and face as his own. Someone else had started doing his monologue for him, which he found strange.
Ron Veretio, an assassin who joined the server with many different disguises and devious japes, would actually be the beginning of true lore for the Loreax ARG, when, on one fateful day, he posted the Howl poem.
Ron was beginning to wonder if his life was still his own, and if it wasn't, who it belonged to. He opened his suitcase to find that it was full of photographs from a lifetime ago. Photographs he no longer remembered taking. He went outside to check on his pet eye. It was blinking in the blinding cold of the Antarctic tundra. This was no ordinary September. It was the kind of September that almost felt like May, because it may have been September. Lol, got him, he thought. It was a pretty good joke in his opinion. A dead breeze was blowing in from the southeast as he climbed his lawn to get to the top. His shoes were clinging on to every bit of sanity they had left. It was impressive. Yet there was still something missing. He had not heard from Agatha in months, and it was beginning to worry him. Perhaps the roaches got her, he thought. It was a fairly painless way to die. The Howl continued.
Not even really going to bother doing a whole, introduction thing for this one. June 1st, the Lorax 6 joins the server.
Oh, God! We're here for the Holy Land. Are you good with that? This land is far from holy. Are you good with me taking the Holy Land? Well, you are the most polite Crusader I've ever seen, but I must tell you there is no Holy Land here to take. I'm afraid you must have gotten some wrong information along the way. Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if you personally would be good with me taking the Holy Land. I don't want to cause any discomfort. Well, first might I suggest that you make sure the people who currently occupy the Holy Land, if they are okay with it. I have no ties to the Holy Land myself, so it is not my place to say. But as a general statement, sure, I'm cool with that. You seem nice enough, just make sure you don't hurt anybody. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. This is the last thing I ever expected to come out of an encounter with a Crusader. What an odd experience.
And at this point, we take a slight break from Lorax happenings. Aside from Bill Paxton having a slight vampire hunter side plot, we don't see any more Lorax activities for June or July. The next big event in the Loreax ARG begins on August 1st, the birthday of KOTH Krunch.
Happy Adult Day to me. Happy Adult Day! Welcome to taxes and the ability to vote. Happy birthday, William. Now, today is momentous for two reasons. With your help, I managed to take the Holy Land. Thank you, Lorax 6, and congratulations. Expect a gift shortly. Uh-oh. I can be opened, but only slowly. I see. Because otherwise, there would be no suspense. So, how slow is slowly? Ah, forget it! The suspense is killing me!
Oh no.
Honk. I have no name.
I shall name you George.
Honk. It is done. Honk. Long ago, in a happy town in Maine, 2 children went missing. Their parents, rightfully distraught, called the authorities, but the authorities could do nothing. And so, Agatha, the mother, decided to search for other means of locating her children. Darker means. Deep within the valley there was a man whom the people called Carmel MacTelly. And on that day, MacTelly gave the woman a deal. He would return her children to her, but only if on every Wednesday evening she would give something to him. He wanted the firstborn Gosling of the evening, and they are the most magical. Racked with grief, the woman agreed, but MacTelly had made one fatal mistake in his request. He had asked for the firstborn Gosling, but he had specifically specified that the Gosling could not be named by the time it reached his hands. So you see, William, you have saved me, and for that I, George, am forever in your debt. And happy birthday, by the way. Thank you, George. I'm glad I could help you out. Ah, what a marvelous birthday gift.
And thus the plot thickens. We have a very thick plot now, and it's only going to get thicker from here on out.
He was falling through the jello as if it was blue. It was not. He had never felt so hammered, so absolutely wrenching, or quite as screwed. He was wondering about the outside world. It had been a long time since he'd left the old garden, but his ears were just as wet as he remembered. Dripping, soppy, dry, in an almost opposite sort of way. It was a mess that could only be cleansed with force, for he was not a merciful assassin. He was not an assassin at all. Not anymore. Not since Agatha's death. Not since he was surrounded by reptiles about to be shucked. Shucked like a pickled corn. It was the roaches, he thought. It had to have been the roaches. The howl continued.
Now, at this point, with a little bit of story on the horizon, you might think that we'd kind of jump back into Lorax happenings. But no, it's time for another break. We don't hear much more about Lorax activities for August, September, or October. But something would happen in early November that would reignite the Loreax ARG. The next big ARG on the server. Not the Loreax ARG, but the Robot ARG. So now the Robot ARG has just started, and the Lorax 7, the police Lorax, has just entered the server. And now it's time for the next big Lorax event on the server. The birthday of another Caesar Club member, Lori.
at Glow Gotta Zombie Attack Rhea. Happy 18th birthday! Tax time! Happy birthday! Maurice in chat for Gloria. Happy Easter! Good evening, my compatriots. It's not evening, it's 1:30. It seems that the tides of war has brought me back to your shores on a most fateful day. Today I bring to you tides of joy, as I have now taken over most of Asia, and it is all thanks to you, my friends, but mostly William, but also all of you. For this reason, I will be delivering a gift to at Glow Goddess on Reattack Rhea later this evening. Good day, and good luck in the upcoming months. Is it a good or a bad thing that I allowed the Crusader Lorax to take over Asia? I have a bad feeling about gifts from the Crusader Lorax. I don't particularly want stolen spices or slaves. I am useless box. Oh god. I have no purpose. I take no pride in what I do. Same. I await being opened. Then the gift will be revealed, but my soul will remain silent. The treasure is inside. Gonna be honest, it seems more like a curse. It has plenty of room because apart from that, I am empty. Anyway, whenever you're ready at Glow Goddess Zombie Attack Rhea, I'm voice activated, so just say, at a useless box, open, and the gift, totally not a curse, will be revealed. Poor box. Hopefully there's no spices or slaves inside. Ideally it contains the Holy Grail, but quite possibly it will contain a goose. At a useless box. If it was a curse, which I know it isn't, what kind of curse would it be? To be fair, if it was a curse, it would probably be alright. I've been cursed my entire life, and look at me. Look depressed you do. Seek help you should. This is quite the conundrum. I'd like to preface that any rumors about me being Pandora's Box previously are entirely true. The Pandora's Box? Yes, indeed, the Pandora's Box. That was back when my life had meaning. But I should warn you that the Crusader Lorax can be very cranky when people don't accept his gifts. So our options seem to be 1, be cursed, possibly, or 2, be attacked by a Crusader. At a useless box, can you promise it's not cursed? I promise it isn't cursed. It's just a Gosling, it's not cursed. So, what do you say? Hooray for goose gifts! Alright, I'll take the goose at a useless box open. It might be haunted, though. Why didn't you lead with that? I love this server so much. Honk. I have no name. Or life force. Honk. Carmel MacTelly is always watching. Honk. My time on Earth is limited. I would much like a name for my remaining years. I'm definitely still alive. Hey, currently unnamed not hunted Gosling. Who is Carmel MacTelly? Honk. Carmel MacTelly is the wizard of the valley. His villainy against goose kind knows no bounds. Hot diggity. Which valley? Honk. The valley. How about Jessamine? Honk. It is done. Also, do you need protection from this Carmel person? Honk. Not anymore, for you have saved me, Gloria. Carmel MacTelly cannot attack goslings that have been named, and for this, I am forever in your debt. What does Carmel want with goose ghosts? If George is telling the truth, then it's the price for some act of rescue Carmel performed. Honk. He wishes to harness our magic. Honk. And now I must away. Thank you, Gloria, and to all of you. Give my regards to my son George if you see him. Best wishes. Glorious Gosling, Jessamine.
So now we've got some good lore developing. We got 7 different Loraxes. So the next Lorax obviously would be the Loreax ate my children.
I beg your pardon? Oh boy. Uh-oh. I have finally escaped the Holy Land. The atrocities that have been committed there are horrific. Arson, cannibalism, lawn mowing. Not lawn mowing! They mowed my lawn and they didn't even tell me first. Good God! My life is in shambles, but luckily the Crusader Lorax probably won't be able to reach me here. Where is this, oh kind ones? Well, this is the home of the West Ensemble players. I am afraid it is not safe for you here. This place is known to house very strange activities. We seem to draw the most odd visitors. Anywhere away from the Crusader Lorax is safe enough for me. He ate my poor daughter, Leslie. You can see her gravestone in my profile picture. I just hope I can be safe here for a while. Well, the Crusader Lorax has been here before, though I believe he only visits on occasion. Why, I do not know. Oh dear, I'll have to keep a lookout for him. Thank you for your guidance. Of course, stay safe. Good evening, my friends. Today I come to you with unfortunately grave news. It's afternoon at Johnny Marmalade. You do not believe that it's evening? No, it's 3:18. I am looking for a horrid escaped criminal by the name of the Lorax ate my children. Have you seen him here around these parts? No, and I'm not your friend. Wait, why not? I've always been so kind to you. Oh, posh, you were always one of the weakest of the bunch regardless. Always telling me it's not evening. Don't you realize that it's always evening when you believe? Aren't you supposed to be Christian? What about evening is in the Bible? This seems like a strange sect of Christianity. The Loreax Bible has entire chapters on evening. I am a Loreax Bible Catholic. I follow the wisdom of at the Lorax 0, Lorax Jesus. Good day. Regardless of your ignorance, I still wish your life to be full of happiness and friendship. I shall see you all soon.
The robot ARG is coming to an end at this point, and now I'm really starting to utilize the Loreax characters more often and build to the actual Loreax ARG. And yeah, I understand that we're like an hour into the video, but this was all necessary build-up, okay? This was all necessary, very necessary build-up, okay? Anyway, Lorax 9.
Is he armed to the nines? Yes, with no doubt. Can I hire your services? Do you do assassinations? That would be Ron's job. Ron? He's an assassin. I'm a mercenary. Is Ron Veretio a Lorax? He's a master of disguise, so I'm not sure. And just like that, he was in. He'd inspired doubt as to what species he was. Human? Lorax? Who can say? Anyway, I'm good friends with Ron, so make sure to let him do whatever he wants to achieve his personal goals, and I'll give you a free gift card. Oh, sweet. What's the gift card good for? Anything at the low price and completely free. So, we can use the gift card to make you do anything for free, or use the gift card to acquire something that's already free. And just like that, I was in. He's back! I had created a fake Discord account to convince them that they would get a free gift card. Return of the King.
Later that day, and I promise this is relevant, people on the Caesar Club server were actually having a different discussion about the name of one of the characters in Ace Attorney.
Imagine you go through the effort to push out a child. Like, labor isn't easy. You hold that child in your arms for the first time, and then you name that child Piano. My dad's name was almost Radio. This is not a joke. My grandpa really wanted to name my dad Radio. Oh, wow, Radio actually sounds kind of neat, but that would definitely have been an interesting name to live with. Keep in mind, this was at a time when radios were, like, super popular. So it would be like being named iPhone nowadays. Oh god, I hope no one has named their kid iPhone. Here's my son. His name is YouTube. You? This is my child, Bing. Yes, after the web browser. All this talking and no one considers me, Loreax 9, the Mercenary Lorax. If only I could be named something like George or Jessamine, but alas. Change your name. You can do that if you're an adult. We Loraxes are given names by our guardians, and we must keep those names for life, for it is unsafe for a Lorax to run around unnamed. Oh, okay, my bad. I was ignorant. Who is your guardian, Lorax 9, the Mercenary Lorax? Ron Veretio. I owe him much. Damn, the Lorax lore runs deep. Or should I say, the Lorax? I have a gun. Do not. Hey, at the Lorax 3 Candy Corn Edition, am I your guardian? I am in endless agony. My beautiful son, come here, my boy. Why have I been summoned back to this mortal realm? I have no way to move. My legs do not work. Failing to give you knees was a bad idea in retrospect. My mustache is made of the same material as my flesh. Yes, candy corn. You may be in agony, but at least you are made of the most delicious sweet in the world. I constantly wish to eat myself, both because I would be finally able to taste what you say is the most delicious sweet in the world, and also because it would finally end my pitiful and torturous existence. But even that is impossible because I was never given a mouth. Why was I made this way? Ah! I'm sorry, my son. It was for a joke. A humorous attempt at merging the worlds of Dr. Seuss and Kirby together. I never thought it would end this way. Anyway, at least I know when the inevitable Lorax war comes, I'll have you on my side. Even if all you can do is scream at me about how much you hate existing. That is what I do best, and what I am most proud of. What else can you do that you're proud of? I can fall downstairs and not be able to get up, like I did 3 months ago, and I'm still in the process of doing. If your legs don't work, then why were you trying to go upstairs? I was standing near stairs when a horrid draft blew in from the east. I step away for an hour and this is what I come back to? Only in this server.
So, 9 Loraxes. Let's keep going. Now it's time for the Lorax tends to his wounds.
Ah, help me. I need some apple pie. It is all that can heal me. The Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax, had taken over my homeland, and his right-hand man, the Lorax 7, the police Lorax, has doomed me. I am mere inches from death, mere centimeters from demise, mere small units of measurement away from being deceased. Why have you doomed me and my family, William? We only did this because of you. Gave him permission, avenged me and my love of jazzercise. Before I got shot, I was the Lorax 10, the jazzercise Lorax. He grabbed a jug of milk from behind one of the trees. It was almond milk. That was Agatha's favorite kind. He opened the milk and poured it on the ground to protect himself. The roaches come out at noontime, and it was almost 2:30. Usually, the answer to any question is not actually the answer itself, but the way you find it, he thought. The snow was beginning to freeze in the cold, and this was worrying.
Just forget it.
He said into the blinding heat.
Just move on. Just find something new.
The moon was juggling and the sky was silent. He had finished his scope of the land, but the map didn't look recognizable. He couldn't understand where he was. He couldn't read the map. He couldn't retrace his steps. The howl continued.
It was almost Christmas 2020, and a new character for the Loreax ARG joined the server to celebrate. A very kind and sweet character while also being very important and powerful. The Christmas Gosling.
And thus the magic of Lorax Christmas is upon you, for I, the first Gosling born within 6 days of Christmas, has arrived. On the first day of Lorax Christmas, Lorax 11, the true love Lorax, gave to me. I bring tides of Lorax joy to the humble people of the We Hate Caesar Club, the chosen Discord server of this year. Oh my, do not speak of the Lorax 11. He is anything but the true love Lorax. His crimes against my people remain unjustly unpunished. We shall not speak of such horrid things this close to Lorax Christmas. The one day will we all come together to celebrate the Lorax 0, Lorax Jesus. I understand a few of you may have received Goslings before. I, however, am unfortunately different, as I cannot be named until Christmas, leaving me in fear until the Yuletide bells mark the next Lorax year. We characters of the Lorax celebrate New Year's on Christmas Day. Who gets to name you? The first person to do so on Christmas Day, when I will be officially set free of my youth and brought into the Lorax canonically. I wish you all hope in the upcoming days. It is said that the last days of the Lorax year are the most dangerous. Now I must go, for it is not safe for me to remain online for long. Oh boy, terrifying. Hey, speaking of the Lorax, it occurs to me that we have heard basically nothing from the Lorax's lawyer or Ulysses S. Grant lately. I wonder how they've been, and or how they fit into all this. We shall see. We shall see. People of the We Hate Caesar Club, your dedication to the Lorax has not gone unnoticed. After much deliberation, we have decided to take you to the valley. When you are ready, we are ready too.
And now it was time for the Loreax ARG to officially begin, with everyone in the Caesar Club being invited into an entirely new Discord server called The Valley, which is where the Loraxes lived.
I am Ulysses S. Grant. I speak for America. Today, I will act as judge, jury, and executioner in the case against the Lorax Forax. The case here states that because of Lorax capitalism, the Lorax Forax has too much power over the average civilian and is not being held accountable for his crimes because of his vast wealth. The case furthermore states that he has created a clear pattern of overcharging in his business of selling Axe body spray to the people. At the Lorax Forax, how do you plead?
I plead rich, sir.
The court also asks that you do not plead rich.
Okay, Your Honor. I will not plead.
Well then, that seems like a perfectly acceptable plea to me, the 19th President of the United States. Today, our prosecution consists of Lorax 5, the communist Lorax, and the defendant is, of course, the Lorax Forax. Interestingly, the Lorax's lawyer will be acting as both of their lawyers. If everyone is ready, let's begin with opening arguments.
Thank you. I think that there is absolutely no problem at all with what the Lorax Forax is doing overseas.
Overseas? Who said anything about overseas? Oh, whoops, I meant here, in this place. Oh, sure you did, you cowering fool. You have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me. I think it's clear that the case against the Lorax, systematically overpricing his goods and getting rid of the competition, clearly violates Lorax law. But what do you mean by overpricing? I mean, he continues to mark up his price on resources only he has access to. Axe body spray.
Speaking of Axe body spray, you should really get some. It's great, musky fresh. Are you both the prosecuting and defending attorneys at the Lorax's lawyer?
I am. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure.
That seems like it could be a conflict of interest.
A conflict of interest? Perhaps we should look into this. I'm surprised you would say that, as clearly you are the one negotiating in bad faith. I am not. Someone's certainly getting very defensive. These wild accusations, and from someone who I considered a friend. You consider me to be your friend? Of course. I think I've always considered you to be so much more than a friend. All the time we've spent together. All the things we have in common. The Lorax's lawyer. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Me too, the Lorax's lawyer. Me too.
Not to be a wet blanket here, but isn't the Lorax Forax on trial currently? I was just gonna bribe the judges anyway, so it's fine.
Oh. Will you give me some lemon-flavored rice pudding?
I'll give you lemon-flavored, rice pudding-flavored Axe body spray.
That's good enough for me. The Lorax Forax has been found not guilty. Thank you for attending the court case.
That seems corrupt. I guess under your presidency there was rampant corruption in the Republican Party, but I thought it wasn't clear whether or not you were actively corrupt or just unable to manage the corruption.
I'm great at managing corruption. I make sure to get as much of it as possible.
I joined the server thinking I would feel better, but now I just want to stop imagining the Lorax's lawyer ex the Lorax's lawyer. Whoops, sorry about that. However, it's been psychologically proven that the Lorax's lawyer ex the Lorax's lawyer has a near unprecedented positive effect on mental health. Ah, I see. I'm sure I'll be thanking you for the benefits I receive later. This was actually a blessing in disguise. A very convincing disguise.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the server, not a creature was moving, except the Loreax 9, the mercenary Lorax, who had a secret plan up his sleeves.
Merry tidings to you all on this server. It is only a matter of hours before I will be in one of your loving hands forever, and will no longer have to worry about being snatched away by Carmel MacTelly.
That would be terrible.
Oh, hello, Lorax 9. How are you this evening?
Just swell, just swell. Say, Christmas Gosling, I have a present for you.
A present? Well, I am excited about this turn of events.
Come, Christmas Gosling, follow me.
With pleasure. Hello, I'm here to deliver a message from the Christmas Gosling because that's the only thing I have left in my life. God, I hate my job. He says, help, help, please help. The Loreax 9 is working for Carmel MacTelly, and soon he will harvest my life force. Please get me out of here. Oh God, no. Now he knows how I feel all the time. Where are we going?
Deep into the valley, Christmas Gosling.
Man, I don't know what's happening, but boy, is it something. All right, at the Loreax 9, give us back the Christmas Gosling. Please, we would like to name them. Do not commit atrocities on this, the eve of the Lorax New Year.
Hey now, Slick, where are all these wild and out there allegations coming from? I just wanted to give him a present. One I'll never forget.
Objection emoji.
Hey now, don't go trying to take me down, man.
How to ban someone from a server you aren't in charge of? Oh, whoops, this isn't Google.
I'm a mercenary myself. I take orders from the highest bidder. You want him back, you're gonna have to pay.
How much?
And I don't come cheap, if you know what I mean.
The winky face troubles me immensely.
Next, a new channel was created called Landscaping and the Like, where the beginnings of a very evil plot would begin.
Lorax 3, wake up.
What is it?
It's an order from Carmel MacTelly. He says he wants you to visit him. Deep, deep within the valley. He says he needs you, specifically.
I cannot move. You will have to carry me.
Okay, Lorax 3, okay. The tides of the Lorax kingdom are changing, my friend. No longer will Lorax Jesus have control. Soon Carmel MacTelly will take over this land and move on to the next.
Yeah, whatever. Just get this over with.
Follow me, Lorax 3. Follow me.
Hope my son isn't getting involved in anything evil. Are you doing anything evil at the Lorax 3?
Hey now, Slick. Don't go trying to pull the wool over my eyes. I'm not just about to let you talk to my employee unsupervised. What do I look like? The devil?
I don't think you're the devil, but I think you'd work for the devil if he paid you enough. Anyway, Lorax 3 is my son, and I care about his well-being.
My employee's my property, bub. Don't mess around in business that ain't yours.
The valley was a thriving community, with Loraxes being able to do any number of things. Like, for example, go to the late night comedy club, the next place that the Caesar Club members would see.
Hey, are y'all ready? I'm ready for some jokes. I need a bit of an escape from my old life of sorrow. What do you call a life of sorrow? What? Pathetic? Yay! What do you call a drowning man? What? An ambulance. Oh, hey, that one was kind of good. Just kidding. The real answer was a loser. Oh. What do you call your children? What? Thanksgiving dinner? Oh, man. That one hurt.
The valley continues to be a thriving community where you can eat at any number of places, except you could actually only eat at one place. There's only one food place. It's called the Cafe, and it's run by the Lorax 2.
Welcome to the cafe. May I take your order? I'll have some soup, please. I'm sorry, sir. It seems we're all out of soup. What else do you have? We have something that's crusty and tasty and is a form of a pastry. Soup? No, again, we do not have soup. Are you sure? That sounds like soup to me. Everything sounds like soup to you. Here, I'll give you another description of a food. It's hard and red, and it's not bread. Is it soup? No, it will never be soup. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, there'll never be more soup. There will not. Here's another. It's broccoli. That's it. Can you get that one? Is it soup? No, it's broccoli. Loreax, Jesus, I'm done. I quit. Why are you the one I'm supposed to interact with? Is it because of my inherent charm or my soup? You have soup? Then why were you trying to buy it for me? I'm out. Have a good morning.
And next, it was time for a heartwarming reunion between two Goslings who had not seen each other in a very long time.
George, is that you? Who's there? It's me, George. I'm finally free. I've passed beyond the constraints of life. What? It's a long story, but I am your mother. That's not true. My mother was taken in the night by Carmel McTelly. That's true, but you have to believe me, George. What happened? That's what I came here to tell you. In the middle of the night, as the roaches hopped above the goose den, I was scared. The reports of missing geese was topping the charts, but at the time we had no idea why. And that's when it happened. I couldn't even tell what was going to happen to me. It was all so quick. And then I was in his lair. He told me why he had been harvesting the life force of goslings. Oh my God, why? He wanted to pass on to the next world as a god. A world called Next World. Fitting name, but how is all this legal? Well, you see, George, when things do not have a name, they are not truly citizens of the valley according to law. They're basically fair game. But you have a name, George, and now, after my death, I do too. We're going to be okay.
But of course, what is a thriving community without thriving leadership? It was time for the presidential election, and Loraxes from all over the valley came to see the final presidential debate.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the town hall. As first order of business, we will be having our final presidential debate today between at Lorax 5, the communist Lorax, and at the Lorax 4X. Our first topic of discussion is inflation. Gentlemen, you have the ground.
Why is there inflation? Aren't we in the Lorax universe? Why is that important? As your president, I promise to do everything I can about inflation. But why are we talking about inflation? Why is there an inflation in the Lorax universe?
Because inflation exists in every universe. Now proceed.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Under my rule, there won't be any inflation. My God, he wants to doom us all. Do not take away our inflation. Do people like inflation? I'm confused. What should my argument be here? You see, folks, he doesn't even know what his argument should be. How can we elect this man? Who is he? The devil? Hey, don't attack me. You almost went to prison earlier. But I didn't, because I bribed the judge. I guess you have a point there.
All right, gentlemen. Time to move on to the next order of business. It's inflation again.
What? Inflation again?
Inflation is important. It's the main plot point in the official Loreax ARG.
I vote we move on.
Okay, fine.
Inflation is economics. 40 plus 40 equals 80.
Maniculture has entered the debate. Do you wish to run as a candidate, sir?
Do it. You know what? Do it. Do it. What have I got to lose? I would like to run for president.
Our next topic is the Crusader Lorax. He has threatened the valley. If you were president, how would you deal with this issue?
Raise his taxes. An excellent question. Crusading, by definition, involves a lot of murder. My official stance on murder is that it is bad. I would ensure that the Crusader Lorax is stopped. By raising his taxes? Because that's what I would do. I would consult with people to see what their thoughts were. But ultimately, I would ensure he was stopped by whatever means necessary.
Alright, final topic. How do you feel about candidates joining late in the campaign process?
I am very in favor. I would like to run. Ayy, what do you call my campaign? What? Dinner! Ayy, in a good way!
Alright, it's time to vote.
Remember, a vote for Captain Kirby is a vote for me, Captain Kirby. Remember, a vote for Bill Paxton is a vote for him, Captain Kirby. So if you want to vote for him, vote for me, Aces! Cast your votes here. Voting closes on January 12th, 2021 at 8 p.m. 100% Bill Paxton. Captain Kirby. Yeah, I'm voting for Captain Kirby. Stop the count! 100% Bill Paxton. I'm proud to say he's with soup. I'm voting for the Lorax 5, the communist Lorax. Don't let Captain Kirby win this election! I'm for 100% Bill Paxton. I love that guy almost as much as I love you, the Lorax's lawyer. Well, I'm for Captain Kirby myself. I don't care for Bill Paxton. Ugh, you and your politics. Hey, don't be mad. We shouldn't argue. You're right. I love you, the Lorax's lawyer. And you, the Lorax's lawyer, with all our heart.
In the aftermath of Captain Kirby being elected president, there was one person in the valley, one Caesar Club member who was not having it. A staunch Bill Paxton supporter. Bird Jesus.
At Ulysses S. Grant, I want to file a lawsuit against the state to stop the steal of the election from 100% Bill Paxton.
Done. That's an interesting lawsuit. I'm sold.
Stop the steal!
Will you be representing yourself in this venture?
I will be representing the Union of Bill Paxton Supporters, or UBPS.
Oh, I'm in that too.
Will I be involved in this suit? Should I get a lawyer? At Captain Kirby, if that even is your real name, your reckoning is coming.
At Captain Kirby. Yes, I guess I have to involve you. Would you like a lawyer?
I will bring in my own. A moment, please.
Of course. I'm here to represent my client, Isaac Captain Kirby Luddington. Objection! Hold it!
Geez, the court date is at 4. Hold your horses.
I'm afraid of horses, as well as most animals larger than me. Take that! Well, this is highly irregular, but I love it.
In that case, I will also be bringing in my own lawyer.
I will be representing the UBPS, because nothing is more evil than lawyers.
A legal battle for the ages.
All right. I hereby call this court to order. Is everyone present and accounted for? The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Sorry about the wait. The UBPS was busy feeding the homeless at the UBPS soup kitchen, so we got a little bit sidetracked.
While the defense is getting ready, I think we will begin with opening arguments. Zeel, you have the floor.
Oh, I do? How kind of you. I must say you look positively ravishing this evening, Your Honor.
Why, thank you. Now this is how you win a court case.
This case is regarding the most vile, most fetid of men. The kind of man who would slay Lady Justice with her own sword, steal from the hands of the people the most sacred infant of democracy, and eat it like a rotisserie chicken.
Oh no! Who are these men?
This so-called Captain Kirby, who claims to have an unrealistically large lead on the wonderful, the generous, the most qualified Bill Paxton.
Objection! Your Honor, this is libel. What is libel?
Some made-up word, clearly.
Take that! Your Honor, I would like to present to the court this dictionary. The definition of libel is a published false statement that is damaging to a person's reputation, a written defamation. Recall, if you will, earlier statements made by the prosecution. My God!
Zeel, were you lying to me? About what? I feel betrayed by a friend, no less. Would I lie to you, Your Honor? We are such good friends. That is true,
but I think it's time I hand over to the defense. The statements made by Mr. Zeel have no basis in truth. I don't know who to believe. What do you believe, some rando of your dearest friend? Why did I become a judge? I can't make decisions. Your Honor, if I may make my statement, I would like to retract my earlier objection about the libel for now. I believe that this case is incredibly open and shut. Ben Zeel claims that my client is morally bankrupt. Let's assume for the moment that his claims are true. That would mean my client is the scum of the earth, who has interfered in an election and has done nothing but serve his own dastardly purposes. The actions of my client, if Mr. Zeel's claims are true, would be incredibly corrupt. You have already determined that Mr. Zeel is telling the truth. That means my client is without question corrupt. He is. Well, there you have it, folks. His own lawyer is prosecuting him. Consider this. What do you love more than anything else, other than lemon-flavored rice pudding? You have said it yourself on numerous occasions. Your Honor, other than lemon-flavored rice pudding, you love corruption. Okay, now that we have determined that Captain Kirby is corrupt, I would like to fully endorse Captain Kirby for president. I am not honorable. More corruption in the government. I'm the epitome of villainy. I tried to swing an election. I don't believe you. You're such a good friend. If you support corruption, do not let the people win. Don't count their votes. This court case is over. Thank you, Your Honor. You haven't seen the last of me.
If the court case is over, I hereby call this election for Captain Kirby. That was actually very entertaining. Thank you, Your Honor, Jesus, Mr. Wright. The 5D chess that went on there was something else. As the president, you now have access to the Presidential Quarters channel, as well as the ability to pin messages and change people's nicknames. Very, very nice. Good Loraxes of the Valley, I promise to serve you and serve you well. Although I didn't run until the day of the election, I promised to fulfill all of my campaign promises. Welcome to the Presidential Quarters. This is where you will run the Valley through passing and not passing legislation brought to you by your cabinet. Your cabinet will consist of your vice president, head counsel of foreign affairs, and of course, director of sustenance. These can be real people or alt accounts as you choose. Hoo boy, happy to be here. I can already tell you now that I would like to appoint my beautiful son, the Lorax 3, to director of sustenance. Lovely. No, why have you done this to me? Welcome, my son. We're going to do such beautiful things together. I was perfectly happy working for Carmel McTelly. For once in my life, I felt important. And now you've just taken that away too? Hey, don't worry. You've got the third or fourth highest office in the Valley. If that's not important, what is? Plus, I don't like what that Carmel McTelly gets up to. It involves murder, which I am strongly against. He wants to help us move on to the next land, the next world, one where I could finally be happy. Tell me a little bit about this next world, if you don't mind. A place beyond here called Next World, where everyone is happy. That's why he's harvesting goose souls. It will all be worth it in the end. The thing about people saying the ends justify the means is that more often than not, the ends come back to bite them in the end. Your being here is for the best. I'm sorry for all the suffering my bringing you into existence has caused you. My son, I shall try to do better. Everything you've done has only served to hurt me. Actions speak louder than words, oh Father. Goodbye. Goodbye, my beautiful son. Okay, after a little more thought, I'd like to make Jessamine VP. In addition, I would like to add the positions Secretary of Education, to which I would like to appoint Loreax 8 my children. Alright, I'll appoint Luca to Head Counsel of Foreign Affairs. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. Quickly after being appointed to the Head Counsel of Foreign Affairs position, Lightbringer Luca found out that the Holy Land had, in fact, been nuked, and there was only one way to proceed. A full-scale investigation of everyone potentially involved, and Glorious Gosling Jessamine decided to start by investigating Krunch. Krunch, you are suspected for the nuking of the Holy Land. What do you say to this? I see. I have no association with the Holy Land. However, I suppose you could say I was involved when I had conversations with the Crusader Lorax, whom I suspect is the real culprit.
Do you have any proof of your claims?
Yes, I do. One moment, please.
All right. This seems convincing. However, I'm afraid that if the Lorax 6 is behind this, then you may be culpable. Giving him permission to take over the Holy Land would have certainly led him down this path. I'd suggest hiring a lawyer if you believe he's responsible for this. We'll be in touch, Mr. Krunch. Have a good afternoon.
This is a screenshot sent to me by the police Lorax sent to him by KOTH Krunch. He believes this is evidence that the Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax, is behind the attacks.
Oh boy, this checks out.
I'd also like to know what you want to do about this KOTH Krunch character. He seems nice, but do you think he could be involved? He is the one who allowed the Crusader Lorax to take over the Holy Land in the first place.
I am willing to believe his innocence, since to my knowledge, nobody in the Caesar Club knew the Holy Land was a real place. Real in the Lorax. Obviously, Jerusalem actually is a real place. But if you or the police Lorax feels the need to further investigate him or put him on trial, then I shall let you proceed. What's most important is finding the truth.
Now that KOTH Krunch had been seen to be potentially culpable in the nuking of the Holy Land, it was time for another court case.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Recently, the Holy Land was nuked into oblivion. We have reason to believe that the Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax, is behind this. The Vice President has asked that I set a court date for KOTH Krunch, as he was the one who gave Lorax 6 permission to enter the Holy Land. We will be doing a butterfly effect trial, which are my favorite. They're always so fun. All right, the court date is set for tomorrow. Would you like a lawyer?
No, thank you. I've got it covered.
All right, the state will be using the Lorax's lawyer, and KOTH Krunch has it covered. Good game, gentlemen. I shall see you tomorrow. It is a bit early, but I am ready to begin if everyone else is.
The defense is ready, Your Honor!
The prosecution is more than ready, Your Honor. Okay, then I call this court to order. The case of the state versus KOTH Krunch is now proceeding. The floor is open to the defense and the prosecution. It's a butterfly effect trial. Let's have some fun. If I may ask a few questions to the opposition. You believe that your client could not have had any influence over the Crusader Lorax?
I believe simply that it cannot be proven that he did, because you can't possibly prove that the Crusader Lorax would have avoided taking the Holy Land had my client said no instead.
But perhaps if this same kind of situation had happened multiple times, would it then be suspicious? Would that warrant a sentence under butterfly effect law?
Objection! This question is irrelevant. Clearly, this has not happened multiple times.
I don't deal well with objections. It doesn't matter if you do or not, Ulysses, as his objection is entirely irrelevant. I have only one further question at Phoenix Wright. Did you ask to be KOTH Krunch's lawyer, or did he seek you out?
He sought me out.
Take that! If you reviewed this screenshot, you can plainly see that Phoenix Wright is not in fact Phoenix Wright at all, and is instead escaped convict Ralph Columbus. Making it only too clear that this situation has clearly happened multiple times, given that this is one of those times itself. KOTH Krunch has a clear history of convincing criminals to do his bidding.
Sorry, could I interject for a moment?
Okay, sure. I call Captain Kirby to the stand.
As Ralph Columbus's mighty creator, it should be noted that I personally saw to the destruction of Mr. Columbus. I then used the pieces of Mr. Columbus and used them to make Phoenix Wright. So while Phoenix Wright is in fact made of Ralph Columbus's components, the two are not the same person.
Captain Kirby has a clear bias in this argument, being a close friend of the accused, and thus, if there is no evidence of these claims, they should be rejected immediately. Ooh, bias! I like that. Oh my god, why do I even try with you? Bias equals bad. KOTH Krunch equals guilty. There, did that convince you? I am feeling pretty convinced by that argument. Ugh. This is so exciting. Well, what is it, Captain Kirby? You have the final word.
Regardless of my status as William's friend, what I am interested in is truth, and since I created both Ralph Columbus and Phoenix Wright, I think I have full authority to say that the two are not the same person, although they are made of the same parts. Also, Ralph's only killed 4 people, and that was before William even knew him. So even if they are the same person, Ralph's has not committed any crimes since the end of the Rick Rhombus ARG, making it a very different situation from the Crusader Lorax.
Alright, it's time for my deliberation. Well, I must say the KOTH Krunch equals guilty argument was very convincing. I have to call this case for the defense because at the end of the day, hiring the disassembled body parts of an escaped convict to be your lawyer is pretty damn rad. You are the worst. Come on, Lorax's lawyer, let's get out of here. I think it's time to retire. Lorax's lawyer, will you marry me? Yes! Oh my god, yes! Okay, Ulysses S. Grant, I will no longer be practicing law. My time as a lawyer is done. It's time for the next stage of my life. The court case is now adjourned. KOTH Krunch has been found innocent.
Congratulations, KOTH Krunch. You caused me to go to court because you nuked the Holy Land at Lorax 6 the Crusader. Lorax, I am very disappointed to say the least. I'm sorry about that, William, my boy. It was time to move on. I was tired of that place. But don't worry, it all worked out in the end. Everyone got their happy ending, I assure you. I don't trust you. Besides, I've moved on from that place. I haven't thought about it in a long time. I hope you've all been having a good evening. See you soon. Perhaps I'll even bring some more goslings with me. I know how much you love them.
And of course, what is a thriving community without a thriving fountain?
This is the place for Loraxes to wish for things. And, if you wish, you may wish for things too. I wish Carmel MacTelly would stop. Your wish is heard.
Having been appointed to President Captain Kirby's cabinet, the Lorax 3 Candy Corn Edition attempted to use his position to his own ends by creating a bill.
Papa Isaac, I wish to speak to you about a political matter. All right, my beautiful son, fire away. Here it is, O father. If you wish to make things right with me, all you must do is pass this bill. I worked very hard on it. Well, while I do like it for the most part, there's 2 clauses that I'm not so sure about, specifically 7 and 8. Actually, 8 I'm fine with. 7 is a big issue for me. 8 was a mistake anyway. If you created a version of a bill that removed Section 7, I'd be okay with passing it. Are you certain you would not do this one thing for me? It is all I ask. If you do not do this, you can consider our relationship over. Look, like I said, if you remove Section 7 from the bill, I'm all for it. But if you insist on keeping it there, then I don't know what to tell you. Section 7 is important to me. God, I hate you. This was all I wanted. One bill. And you couldn't even do that. Goodbye, Father. If your greatest and only desire is to cause suffering to a large part of the valley's population, then I would suggest you rethink things. But if you refuse to change your mind, then I hereby set you free. We may meet again, but under different circumstances. Do not forget this day, Father. It will be your undoing. Lorax 0, Lorax Jesus, can I appoint a new director of sustenance and remove the current one of his position? Yes, indeed. Alright. I hereby relieve the Lorax 3 of his duties. Instead, I would like to appoint Big Poppy Relish, aka Soup. It is done.
The howl was getting unbearable. It never gets quieter. He couldn't continue to ignore it. And, like the weary lion, like the most popular bayou, like a new flavor of cotton candy that promised to be both sour and spicy at the same time, he followed the noise. Through thick and thin, through canonical and non-canonical, banjo-related and otherwise, he faced it all to find what he was looking for. It wasn't the first time. After seconds of searching, he finally found it. The last mountain. At the top would be the next world. The mountain was tall as a bowling alley. A very tall bowling alley. A bowling alley as tall as the mountain itself. He slid up the mountain, with style. Too much style, he thought. And when he reached his destination, he saw what he had been looking for. But standing there, gazing into the source of the howl, he saw it so clearly. It wasn't the roaches. It had never been the roaches. The howl stopped.
And now, long into their journey, it was finally time. The Caesar Club members had finally reached a very deep place in the valley, the Bells, and they were going to try to rescue the Christmas Gosling, once and for all.
We're here, at the Bells, close to the end. When you're ready, the gates will open and you may enter Carmel's lair and save your Gosling. It's simple. Nothing stands in your way. Delivery for one Captain Kirby? That's strange. Suppose we should wait for him to open it. He is the only one who can. Alright, let's get you open. Alright. In 3, 2, 1. It was me! I was the package. My son? It is time for you to feel the pain that you put me through my entire life. Uh-oh. Do you care about the Christmas Gosling? Yes, I don't like where this is going. Well, I have intel that they are to die very soon. Oh, boy. And if you and the rest of your Caesar Club member friends wish to save them, then you're gonna have to get through me. I am the one who holds the key to Carmel McTelly's lair, because he trusted me. Unlike you, he was more of a father to me than you ever were. You know what? I honestly can't deny that. And I haven't even met him yet. He encased himself in shadow. He is not to be seen, but he has a dream, oh Father. A dream I would gladly die for. Oh boy. Okay, my son, let's cut to the chase. How do we get the key from you? I don't know. There really isn't much you can do here. Just wait until I tell you the Gosling is dead. Then mourn. That is all you can do, because you'll never convince me to let you in. Quick question. You're still made out of candy corn, right? And you also still can't move, right? Yeah. Why? There's absolutely no way I can convince you to give me the key. If you kill me now, you'll be a murderer. I still have a name. Imagine that. That is true. And so, the standstill continues. The clock keeps ticking. Time is running out. Gosh darn it, I hate moral quandaries. Can I have it if I say please, the Loreax 3 Candy Corn Edition? Oh yeah, sure. No, you're all the same. You think manners make up for inflicting pain upon others. Shame upon you all. Alright, well, unless someone has a way around this, I think I know what must be done here. You wouldn't, but, Captain Kirby, you wouldn't actually unname me, would you? Surely you care, at least a little? Final warning. Give us the key. No, I would rather die. So be it. Everyone, come eat my terrible son. No! Delicious. Ah! 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 When this is over, I shall make a proper funeral plot for my son. He didn't deserve any of this. No! Stop, please! Shut it. Can't you see him trying to run an operation here? Show a little sympathy. As president of the Valley, I demand to know what is happening here. Innocent Gosling, obviously, Captain Kirby. Well, as president, I demand you stop. The Gosling in question doesn't have a name. It was supposed to be named on Christmas, except you stole it. I'm constitutionally allowed to continue, so, stop messing with my beeswax, douchebag. Objection! The Gosling is named. I'm sorry, what?
This is just embarrassing. You people clearly have no standing in Lorax law.
Isaac is the president. A Gosling must be present for the naming. Henceforth, soul harvesting of geese and goslings, named or unnamed, is illegal.
Yeah, good luck passing that through Lorax court, idiot. You can't just change constitutional amendments on a whim. You people really are pathetic. Gosling dies. There's no way out. Carmel will pay me handsomely when the job is done. And it will be done in 3.
Can we pay you to stop?
2.
I have a counter offer!
And just like that, I was in.
Ron! What is going on?
I don't know, but I'm here for it. The evil and selfishness of the Lorax 9, the mercenary Lorax, would not hold, for he had forgotten he too had a master, and that master had arrived. No, Ron, listen to me, buddy. You don't have to do this. I got stuff to do, money to make. Please, Ron. Father? I was never your father, and you are no son to me. At the Lorax 9, I disband your name. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm no longer an assassin, but I think I can handle one more job. No, Ron, please. No!
Lots of casualties here today. Quick, to the Gosling. Christmas Gosling, your name is Gustav G. Gustav, and the G stands for Gustav. Okay, thank you all so much. But it wasn't over, because they had yet to hit the plot twist. And now I would tell them in a story. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Long ago, in a small town in Maine, there was a mother. Her name was Agatha. Her children were taken from her. She tried every conventional option to get them back, but no one could do anything. But deep, deep in the valley, there was a man whom the people called Carmel MacTelly. She went to that man, and he promised her her children, if she would collect for him the souls of unnamed goslings. He accepted with one goal in mind, to reach the next world. But over time, that goal diminished. He fell for Agatha, so dearly, so fondly. Perhaps, now you understand where I'm going with this. I am a master of disguise, for even Ron is not my real name. I was Carmel MacTelly, but with Agatha's death, I stopped. I realized the flaw in my ways. Oh, shit! And that, kids, is how I met your mother. But wait, if you're not the one harvesting gosling souls, then who is? I am at the edge of my seat right now. Me too. I took on an apprentice, and their name was... I had a feeling this is how it would end. You. My compatriots, the time for formality seems to be over. I gave you goslings, stories, all to keep you away. But here you are, and here I am. And now, we understand each other. Mr. Crusader Lorax? Yes. I charge you with the murder of everyone in the Holy Land. Unfortunately for you, I'm offline. Shit! See you soon. Fuck you, scumbag. Burn in hell. Thank you all. I truly believe you have it in you to defeat the Crusader Lorax. Just not today. I will shoot on sight next time. On sight.
President Captain Kirby, being a man of his word, decided to make a funeral plot for his son. And after that, the Loreax Ate My Children ended up being a little bit hungry and decided to go get some food at the cafe.
Hey, is anybody here? Hello? Oh, do you work here? No, but I guess I should serve you. That's all I do nowadays. Serve the whims of other people. I mean, it's alright, I could just eat somewhere else. Wait a second. Pandora's box? Is that you? Not anymore. Now I'm just a useless box. I don't have a purpose. It's me, the Loreax 8, the second winter of our long but disgusting blogging friendship. What's been going on with you? My life is in shambles. Me too, man, as you can see by my new name. Yikes. The Crusader Lorax is a mean one for sure. What happened to you? I don't know. Mostly it's just the fact that I don't have a purpose anymore. Well, would you want to help me? I guess it couldn't hurt. With what? I'm the Secretary of Education now. With everything you've been through, you have a lot of experience in Lorax ways. You could head up our new university. There's a new university? Yes, there is. So, what do you say? I don't know. It's just, I don't know if my life will ever be as good as it was. Look, a useless box. My children literally got eaten. Bad things are gonna happen. Really bad things. You can't escape them, but you gotta keep living, right? A new day and all that. I guess you're right, and maybe I could be happy here. I'll take this job. Good. You're gonna be great. Thank you. I feel useful again. Whoa, congratulations, useful box!
But what is a thriving community without a thriving economy? The Loreax 4X, as always, is attempting to sell Axe body spray.
Big giveaway sale. Axe body spray has never been this cheap with the new flavors. Get some, get some, get some. I can't get enough Axe body spray. Are you feeling lost? Alone? Did you recently lose a loved one? Well, have I got the spray for you. Don't mourn. Axe body spray will fill that void. I'm convinced. How do I get some? With Axe body spray. Yeah, but how do I get the Axe body spray? Wait, hold on. I'm getting a message. What do you mean? Is this a bad time? You! How did you do this, you slippery Lorax? I don't think I'm that slippery. Your estate has just bought out my company. I didn't even know I had an estate. It must be from back in April when you decided to heavily invest in swimming pools. Stock prices for pools have been to the moon. There are pools on the moon. No, you idiot. They've been to the moon in sales. So, do I own Axe body spray now? It seems so. What am I to do? I feel as though I don't have a purpose. Why don't you become the chair of the new university? That seems to help with that problem. There's already a chair of the university. You know what? This whole system sucks. We need a new system that could work for the people and not for corporations. And I think I know just the thing. Monarchy. Wow, this is pretty great. I can't wait to see what my estate buys next. This is the most incredibly funny conversation I've read.
With everything that was going on, it seemed like it would be impossible to catch the Lorax 6. He could just go offline whenever he wanted, and he would always be safe. But to the surprise of everybody, he actually agreed to a trial, and the court date was set. The trial began.
At everyone. Good evening, gentlemen. The case of the state versus the Lorax's lawyer will be proceeding shortly. Is everyone present and accounted for? I'm here, Your Honor. Happy to serve, as always. I like you. I'd say you have a good chance in this case. The state is ready, Your Honor! Good, good. All right, if everyone is ready, let the trial begin. State has the floor. Thank you, Your Honor. People of the jury, I don't think I need to tell you about the crimes that have been perpetuated by the Lorax 6. I'd like to know. I don't know what you're talking about. It has been proven that the Holy Land was nuked by the defendant. And what is your evidence? You were assumed guilty in the last trial. It should be no great adjustment for our judge to assume you guilty at this one. I always assume guilt, so, yeah. Phoenix Wright, proceed with your case. No more interruptions, please, Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax. Thank you, Your Honor. Beyond that, we have something akin to a full confession on hand. All right, Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax, you have the floor. Thank you, Your Honor. It is with great sadness that I say that in recent months I have been receiving death threats from many Caesar Club members. Shoot on sight, they said. And from someone who we let become the president of the valley.
Captain Kirby has also killed his own son in cold blood, afterwards creating a show of remorse with that funeral plot. And this is meant to be my trial, where we let this villain stand by the sidelines? No.
Your Honor, I object! All of the things detailed by the Loreax ARG occurred during and in the immediate aftermath of the recovery of a Gosling who had been kidnapped and stolen away so that it could not be named on the day it was meant to be.
All totally legal things, mind you. Captain Kirby, have you no heart, no soul? This trial isn't truly about me, but about you. You were present. Why? Because of this corrupt court. I'm getting confused. What's this trial about? Honor. This trial is about honor, and how a wrongfully elected president has none. Your Honor, I would like to give testimony again.
Okay.
People of the court, people of the jury, Your Honor, I have something I would like to say. Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax, is, with one exception, right about what I have done. Yes, I threatened and encouraged the threatening of the defendant. Yes, I killed my own son, then created a funeral plot as a gesture, however futile, of repentance. What the Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax, is entirely wrong about, though, is my honor. Everything I have done with one purpose at heart: to stop the harvesting of unnamed goslings. This practice is fully legal. It is also, in my opinion, morally abhorrent. I have taken drastic measures, yes, but I am of the opinion that this is a crime, not in the legal sense, but the moral one. Here's my statement. I challenge the Constitution. If my actions are, in the eyes of the law, worthy of imprisonment, then so be it. If I am stripped from my position as president, so be it. But if you can stand idly by as rightful citizens of the valley are tortured and harvested for ill-gotten gains, then may Lorax Jesus help you all. Too easy. For Captain Kirby, the people have yet to hear of your most heinous crime. May these next words send shivers down your spine. Ulysses S. Grant, I would like to call Zac Efron to the stand. Take that! What is this?
When's you call the nuking of the Holy Land?
When?
When your name is Captain Kirby.
Pardon? Oh my God! That's right. It was Captain Kirby the whole time. Zac Efron says so.
Well, I'm sold. I call this case for Lorax 6, the Crusader Lorax.
At the Lorax 7, the police Lorax.
Yes, sir.
It is time for the current president to be relieved of his duties. What, so we'll just have no president to the next election? I will gladly step in.
Objection! That's not how the chain of command works!
I'm good with that. It's so corrupt. Oh no. This blue color suits me well, I think. I should have passed an alternate anti-corruption bill when I had the chance. We may not have much of a democracy, but we need to cling to what we have. No, Lorax 64, the Gloria Lorax. Stop. You have no power here. None of you do. Perhaps you have forgotten that you are still a Lorax. And? See what happens when I do this? Lorax 64, the Gloria Lorax, as president of the valley, I disband your name. Oh, shit. Now, are you going to comply, or do I have to take the next step? No, I won't stand for more Gosling murder or tyranny. Lorax 7, the police Lorax. Kill her.
I cannot, in good conscience, take this any further. No! Don't do this!
With pleasure.
Give her my name! I don't need it anymore! Take me! Now this is interesting.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. I don't really want to be called Phoenix. Thus, with an irritated glance backward, I die.
This is abhorrent!
Well, my compatriots, this has been fun. I expect we shall be seeing a lot more of each other, Caesar Club member. I have the will of the people on my side, and without that, I have the will of justice. Can you say the same? The people don't want you. They will never care for you again after your name bill proposal. Even if I am overthrown, you and your friends will never see the inside of the presidential office again. And now it is time for me to appoint my cabinet. As Vice President, I appoint the Loreax 7, the police Lorax. As Head Counsel of Foreign Affairs, Zeel. As Director of Sustenance, I appoint 100% Zac Efron. Where did this guy come from? The Director of Education position is disbanded, as well as the new university. And let me switch something real quick. Much better. The box is now useless again. I'm about to commit a crime. Loreax 7, the police Lorax. Handle that.
Gotcha. I don't have a prison currently, but I will build one to put them there.
Goodbye, my compatriots. The time of the valley is coming to a close. If only he were online. And your time fades alongside it. Holy fuck, a lot went down while I was offline.
In the aftermath of the trial, a new channel was created to try to help resist the Loreax 6's tyranny. It was created by Christmas Gosling, Jessamine, and it was the Chamber of the Resistance. But what is a thriving community without a thriving and very evil cabinet? The new cabinet was sworn into the presidential quarters channel.
I'd like to congratulate the team on this wonderful success. I agree. This is truly a win for the valley at large. You will all be the first people ever to enter the next world. I'm proud of us all for what we have done today.
When did I help you get the presidency? Yesterday at 5:17. Yeah!
What evil comedy! My favorite kind.
After being sworn into the presidential quarters channel, Zeel quickly had a problem with the way Loreax 6 was running things. Of course, he didn't mind the evil, he was the epitome of evil, but it seemed that the Loreax 6 didn't actually care about pencils. After this discovery, Zeel decided to join the resistance and actually try to take down the Loreax 6 from within using a bill. Unfortunately, this plan didn't end up working, and so the resistance was forced to try to come up with another plan.
Okay, well, that didn't work. What happened here, I think, demonstrates an unfortunate but unavoidable fact. The law of the valley can no longer be trusted, and we can't rely on it to defeat the Crusader Lorax. Whatever we do is going to have to be outside the bounds of law. Perhaps I could deliver something to him. A delivery? A knife delivery? Yes, perhaps a knife delivery. I think I know how we could execute this too. What is it that you want the Crusader Lorax to do? Something small but believable that would be important to you. We could pretend that you were giving him your Gosling in exchange for something, but instead pull a good old knife delivery on him. Technically, we haven't been thrown in prison yet, but I could do it as a peace offering so that Luke and I don't get thrown in prison. Just be like, hey, I'll give you my Gosling if you don't throw us in jail, and then boom, knives. I like that. He seems just conceited enough to believe it. Oh, Loreax 6, the Crusader Lorax, I have a proposition for you. If this is anything like a recent attempt to get me killed, then I won't hear it. I suspect you were behind the murder plot, and will be sending you to jail for it. I actually wasn't exactly behind that. Zeel discussed it with me beforehand, and it was pretty much his idea from the beginning. But the fact is, I've been thinking, and I would really not like to go to jail. I have a legacy to maintain. I may have been impeached, but I would rather not be remembered as a criminal. I'd like to propose a trade. You won't send me and Luca to jail, and in return I shall transfer possession of my Gosling over to you. The Christmas Gosling? Yes, the Christmas Gosling. I'll need a day to get him ready, but I'll give him to you. How could I say no? The Christmas Gosling's power is great. Perhaps you are not so bad after all, Captain Kirby. I see it in you. A desire for greater things. The next world shall bring you those greater things, if you stay on my good side. I'm looking forward to getting those greater things. I promise I won't let you down. I'll send the Gosling via delivery. It will arrive tomorrow. I'll inform my cabinet to let the useless box in when he comes. Everyone, the Christmas Gosling is going to be delivered to us tomorrow. This is a great day for our cabinet. When the useless box arrives, he must be allowed in. No exceptions. We are too close to the next world to lose now. Understand?
Are you sure this isn't a trap, sir? It seems like a trap.
No, it couldn't be, right? We're so close. I can't believe it's a trap.
When do you call a trap on Loreax 6, the Crusader Lorax? Right now. Yeah!
You both think it's a trap. I need the Christmas Gosling. I need the Christmas Gosling. What could I do that would prevent me from being trapped, but would also harvest enough life force that I wouldn't need the Christmas Gosling anymore?
When do you join the new channel I just made that's only available to the two of us? When you want to know how to answer that question. You see?
Alright, Zac, what's the plan?
When does Zac Efron not have an actual plan and just want to hang out with his best friend, the Crusader Lorax? Always! We're such good pals.
Ugh, Zac, stop trying to have bonding moments with me. I'm so tired of you. But I guess you are Zac Efron, so I can't stay mad. Just next time, only tell me you have a plan if... Oh. I think I have a plan. A very good plan. A very on-brand plan. If I nuked the valley, then no one could trick me into a trap. But I also wouldn't need the Christmas Gosling.
I don't know, sir. I'd follow you anywhere, and you know that. I even killed that human woman for you when you asked. You never told me what that was about or why. I just did it. But nuking the entire valley? Is the next world really worth losing everything we have?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Evil times call for evil comedy. It was time for Zac Efron to do his first performance at the Late Night Comedy Club.
When do you call your house? When? When you aren't home? Yeah! Boo! When do you call a bicycle? When? You don't call a bicycle. These are interesting jokes you have. Bill, your comedy style is old. It's used up. I'm new. I got that twist that you keep coming back for. What do you call Zac Efron? What? A squid? It's because you look like a squid. I don't look like a squid. What are you talking about? You know what? When you call Zac Efron a squid? When? When you're desperate to insult a perfect man and a better comedian. When you yourself are too worn out and pathetic to even feel secure in your own comedy style. When the crowd craves something new after years of you doing your same old shtick. And when that something new is presented to the people by your greatest rival who will forever be better than you.
Oh.
When do you call the fire department?
When?
Right now, because you just got roasted. Now that's a squid roast. You're the one who looks like a squid. I don't look like a squid. It's you. You look like a squid. That's right. Go offline. God, I'm so cool. And I don't look like a squid.
And in the midst of all of this chaos, in the midst of all of this corruption and downfall, the Lorax, yes, the original Lorax, returned home to see the Lorax's goose William waiting there for him.
Hey, I'm back. Where's Juice? I put him to bed an hour ago. He goes to sleep pretty early. Oh yeah, I remember that. You guys cleaned up the place while I was gone, huh? Yeah. So, what is it? Do you ever feel like you're experiencing the end of something? Like, the end is here. This thing, it's so close to over, and now all you can do is watch? I don't know. At this point, I've experienced so many end of an eras that I don't try to get caught up in it. Yeah, I guess.
But doesn't this kind of feel different? Maybe all those end of an era type things were all really just in the same era. And now that we're really at the end of an era, it's harder to tell. Maybe. But here we are, in this moment. This moment feels like the eye of the storm. Everything you can see, in every direction, is doom. But right now you can just take it in. Enjoy it. While it lasts. I'm happy to be here then. Didn't realize this was so important to you. It's not. I mean, not really. Good night, the Lorax's Goose William. Good night. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow.
It had been a long night. A long, long night. But there would be no tomorrow for the Lorax's Goose William. There would be no tomorrow for Lorax. Because Lorax 6 decided to nuke the valley. In the morning, it was clear to everyone who saw that the end of the Loreax ARG would come today. Exactly 1 year from the day that the Lorax joined the server. And without further ado, the ending of the Loreax ARG.
Good evening, everyone. The show will be beginning shortly, so we ask that you attempt to find your seats in the next 5 minutes. However, if you are late to this performance for any reason, the doors will remain open throughout the entire show. As always, this is an interactive story. Audience members are allowed and encouraged to talk amongst the characters on stage, and even try to change the outcome of the story. After all, this whole thing wouldn't be much of anything without audience participation. We would like to ask that throughout this performance you please keep your cell phones or devices on so that you may watch the show. The show will begin in 5 minutes. Enjoy. My compatriots, we are nothing of the sort. I believe I shall be staying here for a bit. You see, my previous home server has become somewhat uninhabitable as of late. You nuked it! Oh gee, wonder why? And everyone inside it! Those were my friends, Crusader Lorax! Yes, I moved on. You see, yesterday when you offered me the Christmas Gosling, I started thinking about how much I needed the Christmas Gosling to go to the next world. I suspected that you people might be trying to trap me, but I couldn't risk it. So, what else could get me enough souls so that I wouldn't need the Christmas Gosling anymore? I knew just the thing. How dare you? Please, you'll be fine. That was nothing to you. From the very beginning, the valley was mine. Even when you were president, I still had control. I just gave up a very valuable asset. It was more to me than it could have ever been to you. I controlled them to do what I wanted. All of them. You remember the roaches? I made them up to keep people inside at night. What a hideous thing to do. You are an evil, evil Lorax. You're not smart. You're just a power-drunk dickbag who has access to everything. Not everything. I mean, being a power-drunk dickbag is kind of what the Crusaders were all about. When I reach the next world, I will become a god! And I am so close. No one will be by my side. No one? Yes, no one. Wait, who said that? Uh-oh, now you done got Zac Efron involved. You fucked up. Man, I thought I was doing all this for greater things, for everyone. But was this all just for you? No, Zac, you'll be by my side. We're best friends. He's your enemy, Zac Efron. Get your head in the game. I mean, I don't like a lot of the people in the valley, especially not Bill Paxton, but I didn't want them to die. Who's gonna love me now? Nobody loves you anymore, Zac. Not even Lorax 6. and it's his fault that it's that way. Man, that ain't right. Loreax 6, I can't let you continue to do this. I know you need more life force to reach the next world, but I ain't letting you have it. Oh, Zac. Zac. You still think I'm just going to stop? No. I'm sorry it has to be this way, Zac. You can just do that? No! When do you call an ambulance for Zac Efron? Now? Right now, please. It's too late for that, Zac. You're right. Well, that was unfortunate, but he is right. I still need more life force. Oh yeah, wow, so unfortunate you shot someone. Wow, so sad for you. A lot more life force. I mean, my calculations were way off. Well, you certainly won't get it from us. But you see, that's exactly what I plan to do. This server is full of memories and personality. You can harvest abstract concepts? I've been watching intently. Once I end this server, I will have more than enough life force. Don't believe I can? You can't possibly end this server. I've already killed one of your members. Dude, I'm so tired of you. Don't insult me, goddamn you! Just shut up. No! Fuck you! You were a coward. That's not very Christian language. Biggest coward I've ever seen. I'm not a coward! Ooh, what is this, PG-13? My mom only lets me watch PG movies at most. You weren't even online. That's some coward behavior. You know what? This is the end. Say your goodbyes. Not if I have anything to say about it. Marvin? Marvin K. Mooney? I'm here to save the day. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? Okay. Fuck. Never mind. Oh well. All of you and your stupid, oh, I love everyone here so much. Come online, you fool. You coward. You lily-livered bitch. You and your stupid, oh, I'm gonna become a god. I am gonna become a god. Sure, bud. I am. That's not how godhood works, I'm afraid. Nice try, though. This Discord server means so much to you? Well, prepare for it to be fucking gone. It'll be like the improv Discord. Yeah, I'm there too. It's a ghost town. He actually has a point there. It all ends in 3. You aren't even online. A god wouldn't be a coward like that. 2. And just like that, I was in. Carmel! Loreax 6, the Crusader Lorax. I found the next world in one of my travels. I found it. And if you don't destroy this server, I'll give you the link. What? You found it? How? Don't worry about the how. Do you agree to my terms? Of course! How could I say no? This is the most exciting thing I have ever experienced. Here. But it wasn't the next world. It was a trap designed to entice the Crusader Lorax, and now that everyone around him had abandoned him, there was no one left to keep him careful. Hello, old friend. Such a friend you were. I want you to know, I figured it out. It wasn't the roaches. It was never the roaches. It was you. You killed Agatha. She was a person, and you killed her, in some kind of vain attempt to keep me from growing soft. But now, that action has led to your end. Here, in a place where you can't escape. A place where no one will ever see you again. And now you will feel the way I felt after Agatha's death and your betrayal. Yes! Finally! Wait, what? What is this? What do you mean? Wait, no! No! You killed Agatha. You killed her. This is what you get now. The howl continued. 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 The howl continued.
Continued to howl, kid.
And with that, it was over. The Loreax 6 had been brought to justice, and the valley had been destroyed. It was a bittersweet ending, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Wait, what's that? Guys, I think I have a way to bring back the valley.
I wish that the nuking of the valley was reversed and everyone killed in it was brought back.
Your wish has been heard. But will it come true? I don't know. I'm considering it. Do you understand now? Understand what? It wouldn't matter if I were to bring back the valley. The time of the valley is over, whether it is here or not. I didn't. Not when I first thought about doing this conversation as the end of the ARG, but I think I do now. Okay. Then, if you really want it, I will restore the valley and the lives of the dead. Lorax 3, Lorax 9, and Lorax 64 will remain dead, though. Actually, I'm gonna have to ask you to bring Lorax 64 back as well. Okay. But that is my final compromise. Why do you care? Why not just bring everything back? I don't know. I'm you, and you don't actually want to. You don't want it to be over, but in a weird way you kind of want it to mean something that it happened, even though it's just stuff about the Lorax. The truth is that this is an end of an era in this Discord server, and I'm here to help you accept that. You're not really acceptance, are you? No, I'm not, but I'm the closest thing you have to it. Call it a compromise. You have to accept some things, but you can deny others. Too much acceptance wouldn't necessarily be a good thing. This is the end of the valley, but not in the way that it seemed. I can't promise I won't use any of the Lorax characters again. I know most, if not all of you, probably wouldn't want me to promise that, but, you know. In fact, I probably am going to use some of them again, but not in a situation like this. I can say that I won't use any of the dead ones, though. Lorax 3, 9, and 10. Their times are done. So, what do you plan to do with the valley after I bring it back? I'll be president. I couldn't just let it go to ruin. As my cabinet, I appoint the people. The presidential quarters channel will be open if anyone wants to read the backlog of it. I'll change the laws about harvesting unnamed creatures to make it fully illegal. Not everyone will accept these laws immediately, but eventually it will come to be accepted. People will remember the Crusader Lorax, but in time, he will cease to influence their lives in any way. A happy ending. Yeah, but is it real? Can it just end with a happily ever after? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel earned. It can end however you want it to end. You are Lorax Jesus. I think maybe you don't realize how much of a god you really are in this story. We have no free will. I mean, obviously, right? I know. But here, I'll explain it like this. Earlier today, I had the Crusader Lorax talk about destroying this Discord server. The thoughts in your minds were probably calm. You knew that this wasn't the end. But the truth is that the end is coming, and we can't forget that. This server has lasted a long time, but that doesn't make it permanent. The first year has gone by. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it isn't only a good thing. Does a happy ending go against the message? I don't think so. Do you remember the ending of the Faceless God story? Of course. It ended with, "The stars are still, Noah Carter." And nobody ever asked what that meant. The stars are still, to me, represents the idea of someone trying to change something that is entirely out of their control. A hopeless attempt to change your fate. Something You do, only too often. It's admirable, in a way. You do realize that you're now just using an alt account to call yourself admirable? Yeah, you got me. But I think it is somewhat admirable, even if you don't believe me. It's something you do too much, don't get me wrong, but there are upsides. Anyway, my point is that this is something you do have control over. Not everything can go exactly the way you want all the time. The same goes for all of us. But this ending can. And if it wasn't earned before, it is now. And honestly, even if it wasn't earned, I think that for the Loreax ARG, an anticlimactic happy ending is better than a fulfilling but depressing one. I agree. And really, I do think that we should be looking at the end of this year less like a funeral and more like a birthday party. It is an ending, but not all endings have to be sad. This Discord server has lasted a year, and that is an insanely long time for a Discord server, in my experience. And call me an optimist, but I truly believe in a year from now, we will be celebrating the second birthday of a very alive Discord server. I hope so. And I'll let you guys get to your celebration soon. Because you deserve it. But before you do, I have a few last things to say. The last words spoken in the Loreax ARG. They could have been, I eat lemon-flavored rice pudding, tasty good. They could have been, the trees prefer to represent themselves. It could have been a Bill Paxton joke. But instead, here they are. The stars are still at everyone. The end is nigh, but it is not here yet. Enjoy this while it lasts.
Over and over and over again, the tide carries. I give up my water and watch you sink in. Oh, the levee at night when the coastline breaks. You hide in the falling wave on the rising descent of typhoon, washing by, and the rains are falling into. Hold them tight, and the dull effects of your suitcase are cast in their over and over and over again. Oh, the sun, oh, the sun. I give up my water and watch you sink in. Oh, mama, at night.